lap. So, drivers now leaving the pre-grid, heading on first their sighting, and then formations lap. Formation laps ahead of 15 minutes of action set to take place here in Sweden. So let's run you through the starting order. On the front row, it's Alex Dahlberg from Sweden. Alongside will be Martin Henkel Mortens, current championship leader, who's done a perfect season thus far coming into this round. Ville Villelainen and Matthias Lund on the second row. Emil Antonsson and Piotr Wisnicki on row 3. Dionysis Livris and Max Fleischmann row 4. Zenderu and Jan Malacek row 5. Christoph Adams leading the DD2 Masters contingent in terms of qualification. Nikolai Steen, Andreas Voss, Lasse Andersson, William van der Kaj, Daniel Mahacek, Konstantin Schöll, Rupe Markkanen, Manuel Tenchert and Patrick Weinstock complete your top 20. 21st is Sivert Mailand, then it's Matthias Dahl, Johan Andersson, Michael Becker, Euripides Hatzistefanis, DD2 current points Masters points leader, Slavomir Moransky from Poland with Marius Solipolsen, Thomas Piart and Fredrik Fransson from Sweden, rounding out the 29 strong. So 14 minutes plus one additional lap to conclude the first half of the finals stage here for the second round of the 2018 Rotax Max Euro Trophy season here in Sweden. It's been action-packed all weekend long, and it hit a new high point with both the Junior Max and the Senior Max finals that have just taken place, the first of two. So the top 15 in each respective category. Of course, it's going to be different for the DD2 Masters, just mainly because of the fact that we have two separate categories. So the top 15 in the DD2s will score, and all 9 of the DD2 Masters will score in their respective championships. So, another formation lap. Race directors called it. No one was in clear formation protocol before they hit the red coned marker line just before the penultimate double left-hander here at Kristianstad. So now it's time to resettle, refocus, put your motivation hat on and put the visor down and get yourself ready to race, because the temperature has not just increased on the track, it's also increased behind the visor. The humidity 61%, an east-south-easterly wind of 9 miles an hour. There are so many factors that these drivers have to consider, and it's not just about the opposition, it's about how they are. And it looks like race director again is telling them to slow down. We could end up with another formation lap. This will be the first time this season that we could see another formation lap happen, but I don't think he's going to be happy with this. Right, now we're getting into formation. Tram lines are entered, and they go racing in the DD2 and the DD2 Masters. And already looks like Martin Henkel Mortens, I think, has just missed out on second place there, because going right past him was the flying fin of Ville Villelainen. And Villelainen didn't have the... Oh, and it's like Dodgem cars here at the minute at the front of the field. And I'm not just talking about the top 3. Just look how close these guys are. As Villelainen was planning to go past Henkel Mortens, but Henkel Mortens has got other ideas and wants to go past Villelainen and challenge the Swede who's leading at the moment. But look how close this is. This is absolute close quarter combat at its very best. Oh, and there's a bit of a nudge from Henkel Mortens on Villelainen going into the final corner. And there's more tussling behind for 4th and 5th between Antonsson and Matthias Lund. And it looks like Henkel Mortens is going up the inside of Villelainen, retakes second place from the Finn. And there's... Oh, and that was a... Now, I'm just wondering... Oh, there's major contact! 2 carts off of turn number 2. That was a heavy attack, and someone has just lost out big time. So both drivers rejoin. Oh, Zenderu Zendaru, head in his hands, the number 435, the front axle was definitely not tracking true at all. And there's more contact at the front. Villelainen clashes with Dolberg, allows Henkel Mortens to get through. We thought the younger categories, as the 552 of Piert is running out the order, but look at the front as there's changes for the lead as Dolberg has lost out, and Henkel Mortens retakes the lead. So Zendaru now comes out of this race. I'm wondering if it was maybe with Hatzi Stefanis from Spain. I'm not too sure, but there was a huge plume. So Daru is out, helmet off. So at the front as Villelainen is charging against Dolberg and sort of closes the door quite forcefully. Meanwhile, Antonsen is there. Fleischmann is in the mix too. The 404 from Germany, again, is getting himself into contention. And I think, is that him behind Dolberg at the moment? Yes, Fleischmann is behind Dolberg, who's now down into what I would consider as fourth position, as Liveris is also getting in on the action. And this straight, oh, that's very, very close there. Very close there between Liveris and I think Malachek for position. And some people are still attempting to go side by side into turn 2. But as Zendaru just found out, it can't always go. And he's got a very broken front end of that kart as a result. As someone goes wide coming out of turn number 4. They go into turn 5. Oh, someone's gone very, very wide indeed. And I think that was probably to do with Dolberg. Maybe Fleischmann or Antonsen was involved there with Dolberg staying on the tarmac and the other competitor having to go into avoiding action. But it's not. It was Antonsen, because Max Fleischmann from Germany is now into the top 3. And he's now going to go for both Villelainen and Henkel Mortens. As a result of all that battling, it's dropped the German back, but he still has considerable time left. Over 10 minutes plus an additional lap to start going for the guys up front. And in terms of the standings overall for the DD2s and the DD2 Masters, well, Fleischmann wants to keep in touch with Henkel Mortens, because Fleischmann, in his own way, has had a perfect season. He's had 2 second-place finishes, both finishing behind the current standings leader, Martin Henkel Mortens. So, Fleischmann 3rd, Dolberg now in 4th, Wisnicki now up into 5th place. As there's more battling up and down the order. And Dolberg is now down into 5th position, having been passed by Poland's Piotr Wisnicki. Nikolai Steen now up into 8th place, having started from 12th. As there's more changes for position, and it looks like Liveris has just lost out to Steen going into turn 4. So Steen did, I think, what they call a late braking manoeuvre. As there's more late braking manoeuvres as Dionysius Liveris loses out to Schurl as well. Konstantin Schurl has just gone up the inside of the Greek driver going into turn 6. So the 401 now up into 8th place. So Henkel Mortens leads, Villelainen 2nd, Fleischmann 3rd, Wisnicki, Dolberg, Antonsen, Steen, Schurl, Malachek, Liveris now down in 10th place. Andreasen, Markkanen, Van der Kaj, Force and Christoph Adams ran out the top 15. Oh, and we have a mechanical black flag for the number 428. 428, I believe. Which is Andersson in... So eliminated already is Hatzi Stefanis, Piert Daru and Solly Paulson, as the leaders come around the final corner yet again, still being led by the 424 of Martin Henkel Mortens. Vililainen second, Fleischmann third, Wisnicki, Dahlberg round out the top 5. Steen now gets past Antonsson for 6th position. Moransky is not going to be as high up the championship order, because if I look at the standings right now, Christoph Adams coming into this round was only 8 points adrift, and the way things stand at the moment, I think Christoph Adams after the first final will take the championship lead in the DD2 Masters, with Mick Knowlton being the one out of the front of the field. We're now halfway through the time elapsed in this race, 7 minutes plus an additional lap left to go in DD2 and DD2 Masters final number 1. And I'm just wondering if Andersson and Moransky might not be competing in this race anymore, so we'll be down to 23 competitors. So Fransson crosses the line. Yes, that looks to be the case. So Mahacek in the 430 now in 23rd position. So it looks like we'll have another 2 eliminees, Moransky and Andersson. So Dionysis Livris has got past back Konstantin Schöll for position. Malacek has now got past Antonsson for 7th. Markkanen now up into 11th place overall on the road. Christoph Adams is about 0.3 of a second off of Force in the 406 as Henkel Mortens comes across the start-finish line again. Lead has minimally extended between himself and Ville Vililainen, as Steen has got past Alex Dahlberg for 5th place. So Nikolai Steen is on a charge at the minute. And where is Steen in the standings at the moment? Well, this is actually his first appearance here in the Rotax Max Euro Trophy, so that could be a good start to his campaign for 2018. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, best 6 scores out of the 8 finals will go towards their points tally at the end of the year, when we conclude the season in Wackersdorf in late September. So Henkel Mortens is now in a very comfortable position indeed, as the 424 crosses the start-finish line yet again. 52.9, Vililainen 53.0, Fleischmann 53.017, Wisnicki 52.394. Steen goes purple and does the fastest lap of the race of 52.818, and has just taken that honour off of Martin Henkel Mortens. So 4.5 minutes remaining in the first final for the DD2 and the DD2 Masters. And after this we will go to our customary lunch break before we conclude the day's action and the conclusion of this round of the championship. So 4 minutes 13 on the clock. Martin Henkel Mortens keeps his head down, goes across the start-finish line. Vililainen 1.691 seconds behind. Fleischmann a further 1.9 seconds adrift from Vililainen. Wisnicki in 4th, Steen in 5th, Dahlberg in 6th. And Steen has actually just taken out nearly 0.4 of a second out of Wisnicki. So Piotr Wisnicki could come under close scrutiny and attack from Nikolai Steen very, very soon. Alex Dahlberg sitting in 6th place, Malacek in 7th, Antonsson, Livris and Markkanen round out the top 10. So just it doesn't look like there's been any changes of positions, as the race has pretty much stabilised in throughout the field after the madness and bedlam that took out Zenderu and the likes of Hatzi Stefanis earlier on. So those teams will be in a race against time to get the carts ready, but they'll have to get them ready by about 10 to 2 local time, because the pre-grid opens at around about 2 o'clock this afternoon. And the carts will go back into action at 2:30 for the last final of the race meet. So, lap times coming through. Henkel Mortens has done a 52.8 last time around. He's about to come across the start-finish line now. But I'm wondering, is he just putting it on cruise control? No, he's not really. Because he's just extended the gap between himself and Villelainen. And has just taken the fastest lap in the process. 52.642 from the 424. Villelainen was over 0.2 of a second adrift. Fleischmann did a 52.9. Wisnicki did a 52.7. Steen did a 52.668. Dahlberg did a 53.0. Malacek 52.9. Antonsen 53.087. Liveris 53.130. And Markkanen a 53.090. So we've got a spread of around just over 0.4 of a second in terms of pure lap pace between the top 10. But Wisnicki, I think, is starting to eat into the gap between himself and Max Fleischmann, who's currently sitting in third position. So Henkel Mortens crosses the line with about 1 minute and 20 seconds plus an additional lap to go in this first of two finals for the DD2 and the DD2 Masters category here in Kristianstad in Sweden. So Henkel Mortens' lead has now been eaten into ever so slightly by Ville Villelainen from Finland. Max Fleischmann from Germany is in third. Piotr Wisnicki from Poland in fourth. Nikolai Steen is in fifth place ahead of Dahlberg, Malacek, Antonsen, Dionysius Liveris, Markkanen, Schöll, Andreasen, Moylan, Van der Kaj. Christoph Adams rounds out the top 15 overall, but I think I'm trying to keep an eye on whether he is. So Christoph Adams, because the DD2 Masters run with a 5 at the front and with the DD2s running with a 4, so Christoph Adams is currently leading the way in terms of DD2 Masters drivers. So 5-second penalty. Alex Dahlberg, 5-second penalty for the Swedish driver on home soil, no less. So looks like Alex Dahlberg has got a 5-second penalty, which drops him behind Nikolai Steen. So we're now on to the final lap of the race with Martin Henkel Mortens on course to make it 3 for 3 this season so far. He's been in dominant fashion as the 424. So the Dane is showing a clean pair of heels to his closest competition so far, which just so happens to be Max Fleischmann, who will pick up 16 points. So checkered flag is out and it waves for Martin Henkel Mortens, who goes, I've just taken another win. 75 points on the board for the Danish driver after 3 finals. Ville Villelainen from Finland takes 20 points in second place. Max Fleischmann brings his tally to 56 in total after 2 second place finishes in Belgium and now a third here in Sweden. Piotr Wisnicki in fourth, Nikolai Steen in fifth, Alex Dahlberg in sixth position ahead of Jan Malacek, Emil Antonsen, Dionysius Liveris, Rupe Markkanen, Konstantin Schöll, Lasse Andreasen, Sivert Moyland. The leader in the DD2s, I think, might have changed just about now, because the winner was Christoph Adams from Belgium, the treble 5. And yep, there we go. Just had a new message from our timekeepers that Alex Dahlberg was given a 5-second penalty for forcing another driver off track. So from Christoph Adams, Andreas Forss rounds out the top 15 ahead of William van der Kaj, Patrick Weinstock, Matthias Dahl, Manuel Tanschert, Well, Alex Dahlberg has just been demoted to 9th as a result of that 5-second time penalty. So Malachek 6th, Antonsen 7th, Liveris 8th. Then we got Tenchert in 19th, Matthias Lund 20th, Becker, Franson, Mahacek being the last of the 23 finishers, with former DD2 Masters points leader Slavomir Moransky in 24th, ahead of Johan Andersson, Hassi Stefanis, who I think was taken out in that clash between him and Zenderu, with Thomas Piat, Zenderu and Maris Soli Paulsen rounding out the finishing order.